All right, here I am testing the Lee Auto Drum powder measure. And let's see, I've already dropped 19 charges, so I'm going to show y'all the process here of on these last 6. So same deal as last time. Let's just make sure we got our 0 correct here. Yep, that's looking good. So let's see. And again, I'm shooting for somewhere around 27.8. That's kind of been my goal. 27.7 there. $27.78. And I've usually just been going by the first initial reading I get off the scale. You know, I'll set the charge down on the scale, give it about a second or two to settle. So I'm just going to call that 76, 27.76. And if it changes, like right there, it flashed to 78, I've just kind of been ignoring that. I've just been giving them, just for the sake of consistency, I've just been taking the measurements all at about the same time. So like that one, I'm going to call 74. Even though there it flipped to 76. There's a 76. There's the last charge. 27.76. All right, that's it. One thing I noticed with the Lee is the hopper is considerably smaller, so you know, and it's not as easy just to add more powder to this. You have to shut the valve off, then you know, remove the hopper from the measure, and then unscrew that, unscrew the cap, then pour in more powder, and then put it all back together. You know, a little less convenient there. I kind of wish it was just a traditional hopper that just had a lid that you could take off and dump more powder in it. So anyway, that's kind of my only gripe there. A lot of people complain online about these leaking powder out the sides and everything. I'm not getting that here with the CFE 223. This is the same powder, the same case I was using and everything for my Hornady test. So this one seems to be working really good. It does not belong to me. This is a friend of mine's, and he's just loaning it to me to do some testing with. So anyway, you know, these things have a really big following. A lot of people really love them and brag about them, and not gonna lie, I think the data that I'm seeing on the spreadsheet is pretty good. So let's get to that. Okay, just about like usual, I'm trying something else. I tried. I've already dropped quite a few more charges. This was the one that y'all saw me working on there, or earlier. Um, then I decided to fill the hopper completely full, and then it sort of got back down to about halfway, like what I had originally done over here. So when it got back to half full, it seemed like it started throwing better. And so now I'm going to try it with the powder level, maybe a quarter to 1/3 full. So I'm going to drop these 25 charges, and then we'll go over the data. So here we are at the data. So in total, I dropped 100 charges with some various powder levels in the hopper. As you can see here, it's pretty self-explanatory. Hopper half full, then completely full, And then I did half full again, just to see if I'd get the same results. And then I let the powder level run down a little bit to, you know, somewhere around a quarter or a third of the way full. So anyway, let's get down here to the good stuff. So probably the most impressive one was this second run of the hopper being half full. I had an ES of only 0.1 grains, and the standard deviation was 0.02. I was really surprised by that one. But then over here, when the hopper was also half full, this was the first run. You know, still the ES was only 0.16 grains. Standard deviation was a little worse, probably largely to do with the ES going up there a little bit. Now, when I filled the hopper all the way up, it definitely didn't seem to like that quite as good. I probably should have repeated this just to make sure, you know, this wasn't a fluke. I don't know. I might do that again. But it's pretty obvious that with the hopper half full, you know, the worst I got was 0.16. The best I got was 0.1 grains. And then also, like, when it got down a little light, it didn't seem to like that as good either. 0.24. So again, I mean, who knows? To have been fair, I should have run another full hopper and another low hopper powder level. And just for kicks, I didn't do this when I did the Hornady test, but I've got the overalls, like if you just combine them all, which I don't know, it's probably not really all that fair, because the powder level was at different, you know, fill levels in the hopper. For the whole, you know, for all of this, it's averaging in everything. So the ES over all 100 charges was 0.26, which, you know, again, that's not horrible. The standard deviation for the entire 100 charges there was 0.048. But again, you know, the big inconsistency here was the powder fill levels was different on every, well, I guess on 50 of them it was the same. But anyway, on the other 50, you were dealing with different fill levels. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with the Lee auto drum powder measure. Here was the Hornady test. I can pull it back up. After the fact, I came back down here after I had this idea and done this to the Hornady. So I dropped 125 charges on the Hornady. Got 5 columns here, and if you run all of those averages together, again, big inconsistencies here because you're averaging in with the baffle, with no baffle, with different powder fill levels and everything. So, you know, take it for whatever it's worth to you. The ES for all 125 charges was 0.34 grains. The standard deviation was 0.06. So if we go back to the Lee, it was 0.048 and an extreme spread of 0.26. So 0.34 to 0.26. The best I did with my Hornady was, let's see, I did have one run here with the ES of 0.16 with the medium powder level with the baffle in there. And then over here, this was about the same as this, I believe. And its extreme spread was 2. So it looks like there is a chance the Hornady could run with the Lee. Let's see, standard deviation 0.04s. Let's see what the Lee was. There's an 03 and 02. So I don't know. It looks like the Lee may have edged out the Hornady in this test. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and I guess the next one that will be coming will be the Dillon. So stay tuned for that. Talk to you then.